So welcome back to the channel and to the last in the series on the MuleSoft Catalyst principles. We have reached the end of this particular subject, but don't worry. Like I say, this is the last, but we'll be moving on to a new subject in the next videos to try and help you get through that Catalyst certification. So in this video, I'm talking about the 7th and last principle of the MuleSoft Catalyst methodology, and something that I think separates great architects from the rest, and that is collaboration and inclusivity in architecture. A great architect doesn't work in isolation, and the best architectures are built when everyone has a voice. So whether you're working with developers, business leaders, end users, or security teams, bringing in all the different perspectives leads to better designs, smoother adoption, and fewer surprises down the line. So let's break down what collaborative and inclusive architectures means and how you can apply it effectively. So why collaboration matters in architecture? Well, have you ever seen an IT project fail because no one consulted the actual user? Because I certainly have, on a number of occasions. Not only that, but I have seen systems designed without consideration of security risks, scalability, or business impact. And guess what? They fail. Without a doubt, they fail. Now, as per usual for these videos, I'm going to think about an example to prove the point. So consider a company, in this case a financial institution, not mentioning any particular one. They build a feature-rich mobile banking app. The business team love it, but no one consulted the real users. So what do you think the outcome will be? Well, the app fails for a number of reasons, which may include the user interface is confusing for non-tech savvy customers. The performance was slow on older smartphones. The security team wasn't involved, leading to compliance issues. And these are just 3 of the reasons but there could be many more. So the lessons to be learnt here is if the right stakeholders had been consulted, these issues could have been prevented early. So how do we collaborate formally then? Well, the first step is to make sure that everyone knows what they are responsible for. And the way we do this is through the RACI framework. Responsible, accountable, consulted and informed. And this is a powerful tool which defines roles. So let me go through each one of these. They should be quite familiar to you if you've been working in IT for any period of time. But responsible, who is doing the actual work? Accountable, who makes that final decision? Consulted, who should be asked for input? And lastly, informed, who needs updates? So as per usual, an example. When we're creating a new app for a customer, the RACI could be developers are responsible for coding the API. Is accountable for defining how the app integrates into the system. The business analysts and customer support should be consulted to ensure the API meets business needs. And the security and compliance team should be consulted to ensure privacy regulations are met. In addition, executives and end users should be informed about rollout plans and benefits. So what do we get from this? Well, we get no surprises. Nobody likes surprises when it comes to these sorts of things. Everyone knows their role and feels included in the decision-making process. And by the way, that RACI matrix has to be agreed by all. We can't impose roles on people. So now we need to talk about how to foster an inclusive architecture approach. Well, the first rule is to engage stakeholders early on and often. Don't wait until the last minute to get input. Collaboration starts from day one. Create architecture views for different audiences. Now, different people will care about different things, such as developers need API documentation and system diagrams. Executives need high-level benefits and return on investment impact details, while end users need an easy-to-use interface. Now, adapting your communication ensures that everyone stays engaged. And one of the key elements here is establishing channels to gather feedback. So how might we do this well? So we could, in theory, use workshops to gather group feedback. We could use something like Slack channels to allow people to contribute electronically. For smaller groups, we might have regular stand-ups, or more formally, we could establish architecture review boards to get input from them continuously. And all of these different ways are valid ways of getting feedback and gathering ideas. So, one thing to think through though is that you must remember, in my view at least, to address adoption challenges proactively. So if someone suggests something, even if it's not taken forward, you should give that person feedback about either why it's being progressed or, more importantly, why it's not being progressed. You don't want them being wondering what has happened to their ideas, because failure to get that feedback means that that person may then become disengaged from the process completely. And that's something that we definitely don't want. So the key takeaway: collaboration isn't just about technical design. It's about ensuring listening, giving feedback, adoption, and success. And what is the final takeaway then? Well, great architecture is a team effort. The RACI framework ensures everyone knows their role. Early and continuous stakeholder engagement prevents costly mistakes. And being inclusive leads to better adoption and long-term success. So like I say, this is the final video on the 7 principles of Catalyst. So in the next video, like I said at the beginning, we're going to start looking at the subject of relating Catalyst to common architecture frameworks. Now, of course, it wouldn't be the end of the video without me saying, if it's been useful, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel for more insights, and comment below if you've worked on projects where collaboration or lack of it made a big impact. Let's discuss, let's stay in contact, and I look forward to reading your contributions in the comments to the video. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one, but as usual, bye for now.